Hello everybody, how are you today? I just decided to do some video in English because I stopped my 8 months Montenegro travel, actually 8 months Balkan travel, because I was in Macedonia and then Serbia, then Albania, then Bosnia, and at the end I stayed in Montenegro for close to 7 months, and I will just talk about some experience, some tips about the country, because that country is really interesting for me, because I was living in Istanbul and it was 20 million. When I came to Montenegro, it's just small cities and no traffic, no one so noisy. Everybody was really lovely and friendly, and that was so interesting for me, because when you meet with some people and in a day, for example, you can see that people more than 5 or 6 times in different places, because the cities is really small, and it was really cute and lovely for me. And for that, everybody was friendly. In the morning, everybody said, "Oh, dobar dan, zdravo," and that was interesting and so sweet things for me. So I will talk about my 8 months Balkan travel, how I started. Actually, it was really bad timing, because when I decided to start, it was January 15 January. I started to travel in Macedonia, and then some days I stayed in there. It wasn't so interesting for me, and then I changed my country to the Serbia. Okay, then I stayed some days in Serbia. And to be honest, when I left Serbia, I say, okay, Serbian people is really cold and they're not lovely, they're not friendly. But when I came to Montenegro, it was really interesting. I met some 4 or 5 people from Serbia, and I said, okay, they are so lovely, they are really cool. And it was my prejudice about Serbia, but now I like them. And then I decided to stay in Montenegro because there were restriction time. But anyway, today in next video I will explain you how much I spent in that 8 months for accommodation, because in that 8 months Balkan travel, for the accommodation I just spent 200 euro. How I did that? In the next video I will explain you. But in this video, let's talk about culture of Montenegro. When I went to Montenegro, for me Podgorica is really boring city, and if someone want to go to there, and I say just, okay, please don't go to Podgorica, it's just basic city, it's not capital actually. But at the end, anyway, I went to Boka side. It was Tivat, Budva, Kotor in that side, Herceg Novi, Peras, and that city was really perfect, more than perfect. And I stayed some months in Tivat in a hostel, but when I wasn't there, it was off season, and when I was in Serbia, for example, it was -15, and when I was in Montenegro, it was also -5 or 6, and it was a really cold time for me. I was doing some YouTube video, and my hand was shaking as this. But when I decided to live in Montenegro, and I just searched about how can I take the residency, or how can I stay here long, because after Istanbul it was really interesting for me, because Istanbul is 20 million and every place is so crowded, so many people. But in that side, in Tivat, it is close to 15,000 people population. And when you leave that city, for example, if you meet with some people at the morning, you can see that same people in a day more than 5 or 6 times, because it's so small cities, and everybody know. I took that everybody know each other. And for that it was really nice and cute and friendly country, friendly cities for me. But if you want to go to Tivat, for example, I can just tell you that you have to visit Porto Montenegro, you have to visit some seaside of the Tivat, and then there's a Waikiki beach. It's really good in the high season. And in Tivat you can just go some Lepetane, and also there's a Stoliv. It's really perfect place for the visiting. But if you want to come to Budva, if you want a good beach, if you want a good beach, it's completely in Budva. You can visit in Budva Mogram Beach. It's back of the old town. And you can visit Jazz Beach. It's 10 minutes or 15 minutes far from the city center. And then if you want to go to Sveti Stefan, it's 15 or 17 minutes far from the center, and you have to go to there with the hitchhike or with the taxi. Anyway, in Budva also there is just one old town, and you can visit that. But for me, Budva is really crowded with the Russian people and Turkish people, and they are not actually tourists. They are as a local, and for that, if I compare the Tivat Kotor with the Budva, Budva is really more crowded than so many people than other cities, because when I came to Kotor, it was really interesting and quiet city for me, and very chill city. And I stayed in one hostel close to 2 months, and it was a perfect time for me, perfect hostel for me. And because when I was in Tivat, I stayed some place and it was really bad. And when I came to Budva, I stayed some hostel. It was really bad. But when I came to Kotor, my hostel and the place is really good. But at the end, I will talk that later in the next videos. But I can just tell you that if you want a good nightlife, you can visit Budva. If you want some luxury place, you can visit the Porto Montenegro in Tivat. And if you want a chilling time, I mean, you have to completely visit the Kotor, because it was really quiet. And how can I say, the tourist of the Kotor was the we say that elite people. I don't know how to say. And for that, the Kotor was really quiet and polite city for me. I don't know why. Maybe it will sound to you so stupid, but that was my idea. So in the next video, I will talk about some volunteering experiences, and I will talk about some couch surfing, some Airbnb, some hitchhike experience, and I will give some tips about the Montenegro. And some people ask me, how did you establish your company? I will talk about that also in the next videos. And for just this video, I want to explain some small things about my 8 months Balkan, because now I left that area and I came to other country, and I will do some video also. I will do some video also in here, but I wanted to just start in somewhere. Okay guys, see you later, see you in the next video. Don't forget that in the next video I will explain you how much I paid for 8 months in Balkan for accommodation. It was just 200, and I will just explain how I did that. So see you in the next videos. Please, you can follow and share my video if you like. If you don't like, you can write me what did you like, what you didn't like, blah 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 blah. See you.